everyone who was here yesterday, you can start now. Okay. Everyone who was here yesterday, we wedged our clay, and what we're going to do today is step 1 and 2 on the handout I gave you. So we're going to make the basic form of our rectangle, and then we're just going to paddle it to a shape, okay? So you're going to take that clay, and you're going to rip it in half, right? And you're just going to smack it into a clay-ish circle, or a clay circle-ish. Does not have to be a pretty circle. And then we're going to make 2 pinch pots, okay? So you're going to cradle it in your hand. You don't want to set it on the table and do this because then you get that flat bottom. You want to keep it a nice round bottom. So we're holding it in our hand, we're putting our thumb in, and then we're going to squeeze at the bottom, just rotate it around, a little bit at a time, use the same pressure, and then move up a little bit and do the same thing. We're going to leave these much thicker than we would normally, like a pinch pot or any project in here, because we'll thin it out later. So this is a good pinch pot. Alright? We're going to set it on its rim, so again it doesn't get that flat bottom. Then we're going to do the same thing. So I put my thumb in there, and I'm pinching, same pressure all the way around, a little bit at a time, then slowly moving up until I get to the top. Alright, so these are fine. They're pretty thick, but we're going to thin them out later, okay? So, when you make these, I've made it look much easier than it really is. If you mess up, or you have a thin spot and a thick spot, just ball it back up and try it again until you get a good pinch pot. That's the even thickness all the way through, and no cracking edges, no thin spots, no weak spots, okay? So then we're going to put these 2 things together, okay? And anytime we attach clay to clay, we need to slip and score. So this is slip, and it's just clay, powder, and water. So it's just this clay powder here, put water, and stir it up till it's like yogurt. And then the fork we use for scoring, which is just kind of scratching the surface of the clay. So we're going to score both surfaces, so I'm scratching it up pretty deep, really tearing it up. Do the same on the other one. And then you just need slip on one side, so I'll just dip my finger in there, put a little slip. You don't need a lot. Dab it around. Now you're going to take these 2 pieces and you're going to put them together. You're just going to give it a little wiggle to kind of lock those grooves into each other. Exactly. Alright, so then we're going to stitch this together, or the fancy word is meld it together. So smoothing clay together is melding it together. So I have extra clay hanging over here, so I'm going to drag that extra clay down. And then if I get to a spot where there's more clay at the bottom, I'm going to drag the clay up. And notice I'm pulling the clay from way up here, not just right here, like doing this, because that makes an indent. So you really want to pull the clay from way up there so you have less of that indent. Okay, so we can't see that seam. So this is a pretty ugly little rock right now. So what we're going to do next is we're going to use a paddle. We're going to paddle out our finger marks, and then we're going to paddle this into like a nice roundish shape. It can be completely round, it can be like an egg, it can be like an oval, as long as it's mostly round, okay? So we're going to take this paddle, and all our tools are on the cart behind, remind me, Trayvon. So the cart behind him has all the tools on, the paddles are on the bottom cart. We're holding it in our hands still because we don't want a flat spot. And first I'm just going to lightly tap all those finger marks out.
Shut up.
Alright, so then I'm going to go with the shape. So I kind of like this as the bottom, and I'm going to just do a basic like egg shape. So I'm just going to try to work this into a nice shape. I'm still not setting it down yet. I'll set it down when I've got the majority of my shape the way I want it, because I don't want it to sag. So notice I'm not like beating this, they're little taps, okay? And again, I'm making this easier than it appears, okay? It's going to take you guys a little bit longer. But I kind of got the basic shape. It's still very ugly. It's not smooth. But now I can set it down on my board, so you guys will be working on your boards to see that base. So then I can kind of look at it and see like, okay, it's lopsided over here. Let me tap that up a little bit. Work these little lumpies out. Round it off. So it looks kind of even, but it's still messy. So I'm done with the paddle for now. I'm just gonna kind of cruise over everything with my finger, get it nice and smooth, work any creases out. And then that's gonna help you notice if you missed any lumps, then I can go like, okay, that's a little lumpy there, let me tap that, and then smooth it back. So then you go back and forth with your hand in the paddle till it's nice and smooth. If you get the whole thing smooth, like this tiny little section here that I got, well, almost got. If you get it looking like this today, then you're gonna put it in the cabinet without your bag covering it so that they get stiffer. If you still need to work on smoothing and paddling, you're gonna put a bag on it, okay? So what you're ready to do now is you're gonna get everything out of your cabinet, including your bag, your folder, all that stuff, and then you can start doing this.